everyone, Angelina, Sparkling Diva. Short and sweet pick a card reading. This one is on which chakra and what aspect of that chakra needs your attention right now. And we have 4 choices, left to right from the crystals. The left one is Peach Moonstone. Then we have Mary Magdalene Stone. And then we have the Amethyst for the number 3. And the last one is Citrine, Golden Citrine. So please tune in and feel which one is your choice. There's just one card, right? This is short and sweet. Doesn't mean to say it's going to be really, really short. Often just having one card to work with actually comes up with more, right? Anyhow, just make your choice, and then I'm going to start with the numbers 1. Right, numbers 1, your card is Inner Child, and this is a solar plexus card, and then it says there, playfulness, lightheartedness, innocence, and wonder. So everything to do with the inner child. First, I'm going to read you the card story because I actually really like them. And while I'm doing that, just focus on that card. There's all these butterflies everywhere, and just try to feel the joy of that child as she's leaping there, right, in that field. I like it. Hope you do too. With arms and spirit fully extended, a child leaps through a field of flowers, long grass and butterflies. With boundless trust and natural freedom, she thinks not of where she will land, for she knows the soft grass and flowers will meet her at the perfect time in the perfect way. With arms stretching to the sky, she reflects the spontaneous flight of butterflies all around her. Or are they mirroring her? So that's the story of the card, and the message is that you have to be more playful and light-hearted and have more fun and be spontaneous. Be childlike in that sense, right? Not childish. It's not the same. Childlike. That you feel free and trusting as well, right? Because that also came up, and it is the solar plexus, which is also about that, and perhaps just a little bit of mischief. It could be at home or at work or online. But harmless then, of course, right? Just laughter, create laughter, laugh yourself, have fun. And because as adults, we often just forget what we were like as children, right? And with that, also lose the lightheartedness and the openness, the trust that children have. Just look at children when you go out, how they behave, young children, how they are when they're in the playground, etc. They just trust, they just have fun. And that's a quality we need to reawaken and now I'm looking for a word, cherish, I think. Yeah, cherish that quality. And of course there's not always room for that, but I think there's more room for it than we tend to think in life. And it can also be that you still have inner child work to do. And then it's important that you do that you face these things, inner child hurts and pains, childhood trauma. We all have that, some form or other, and work on that so you can come to this happy inner child, to that energy. And it's also really good and helpful. It's a nice practice to get into this energy, actually. If you start looking at the world through a beginner's mind, through child eyes, and because then you get to see what a magical place it actually is. And a child also doesn't judge a young child, right? I'm not talking about an older child that has been molded by people and life, etc. I'm talking about a young child. They don't judge. They're just open and see things and peoples and with wonder. And because that is also what a child has, right? They're not afraid, they just go out in the world. It's like when you have a toddler and you want to keep him safe or her and indoors or safe, and he doesn't just walk across the street, etc., etc. A child doesn't know, and a child doesn't care. It might sound silly, but in a way he doesn't. He's just filled with wonder. When he sees a butterfly on the other side of the street, or in the park, he just wants to go and see what it is. Right? And now I'm not telling you to do some dangerous things, of course, that's not the message, but to just have that wonder, that sense of wonder. So yeah, that's your message, basically. Have a little bit of an adventure in life. And it can be just small things. Getting out of your comfort zone is already an adventure, right? And it can be as simple and small as going to a sports club, or it depends what your comfort zone is and what you kind of fear to not do, what you then really do, right? So really, I invite you, this card does as well, to regularly go out of your comfort zone and enjoy it, have a little bit of adventure and live, right? Be playful, laugh, have fun. Yeah. So last bit is also that it might help you to think of the things that make you happy as a child. And often these are simple things in life, right? Because a child doesn't have these ambitions of an adult yet. Looking forward to getting an ice cream, for instance, or getting a little puppy or a kitten or whatever, or getting to pet a puppy from someone else or whatever, is already like, wonderful for a toddler. And happiness. It can be as simple as that. So, that's your message. That's what I have for you. I hope it resonates. I hope it's helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soonish. Soon. Bye. Number 2, your message. I'm first going to read the card story, because these stories for each card are actually really nice. So I'm going to read it for you. Clouds. That's about what you see in the card, right? Clouds part and a rainbow emerges, marking a moment of energetic celebration as a young woman releases a past grievance and sends a wish into the world. Dandelion seeds spiral through the breeze, each carrying a spark of new life force potential. From this one single exhale, 1,000 positive wishes circle to the earth, bringing forth a garden of fresh growth possibility. Forgiveness. So this is, with the green, is a heart chakra card. And it's forgiveness is the theme for you, right? And letting go, healing, growth, compassion. So your message is that when you cling to pain, and you hold on to that, to hurt and pain, you create a blockage in your heart and in your energies. And even if you feel that you are justified with what you feel and with holding back forgiveness, you will be the one who suffers because of that. And that's really true. It's like what they always say, you forgive for yourself. right? Because the other one, if it's about another person, it can also be about yourself. But if it is about another person, that person doesn't know that you still hold a grudge, still cling to pain and or anger or whatever, right? They don't know. And they aren't really affected by it either, but you are, because it affects your heart, the state of your heart. It closes it down. It makes that you cannot receive love, and you block it, you hinder it, and it just plays tricks on your energy system. So in the end, you are the one who suffers from it, and you can even get, over time, become physically ill. So it's really important, if you know that you still have to forgive someone, that you work on that, that you do that. And it can be that if you haven't had the chance yet to vent your grief or your anger, to do that. And that doesn't mean you have to, if it's about someone else, that you have to phone that person and start giving them hell. It can be as simple as writing it down. And write down your feelings, and then when it's not like you're going to send that to anyone, right? But you write it as if you are addressing that person, as if you are going to send it to them, but you're not going to, all right? And you let rip completely. You do not hold back. Everything that's on your heart, you let out, right? So you can curse, you can be nasty, call them names, it doesn't matter, because it has to get out of your system, right? And because you're not going to send it to them, it doesn't really matter. As long as you feel as if you are addressing them directly, that's what's needed. And then after that, you can burn it. And so it gets, the energies get transmuted. That's also really helpful to do that. Do that safely, of course, so you don't burn down your house. If you start crying, cry, because that is often also needed. It can help bring release. If you need to yell, then yell. If you scream, scream. Sometimes, it's really helpful to beat up a cushion. Get a large one so you don't hurt your hands, but it really can be helpful. I've done that a few times myself as well, and then at first I felt like, what am I doing here? This is ridiculous, this is stupid. I couldn't feel it, I couldn't get to it, and then all of a sudden I broke through it. And because it is a blockage, right? You can't get to that feeling often right away. And then at some point I suddenly got through it. And I kept hitting and hitting. I seriously beat the crap out of that cushion. And I cried as I did it. And I released so much. And I swore it was about a person, a family member. And I swore and I cried. And it was incredibly helpful. Because after that, when you have released all that, you then can come to a softer emotion. You can come to love and forgiving. And then you liberate yourself. If there's one thing I've learned in life, it's that if you forgive someone, you feel so free. You feel liberated, and it's expansive as well. You feel whole, as if you're on top of the world. And I could feel my entire energy system widening, opening up in the front and enlarging, expanding. It was just amazing. So it was a beautiful gift to myself. But I didn't let him go too, right? I forgave him, that person, and it was wonderful. So if you have something like that, that you need to forgive someone, then do this, work on that, because you will soften. You really will. I can still feel it now I'm telling you about it. You will soften after that. And maybe you need to do something a few times. That's okay as well, And at some point you will get to that softness, and your heart will be able to heal, will be able to open, and then you're ready to, send out your wishes, your desires, your wishes, and let things happen. So that's the message I have for you, and I hope it resonates, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Number 3, your card. This is a throat chakra card with the blue, and the aspect is will, and then here it says expression, assertiveness, self-control, direction. First of all, I'm gonna read the card story for you, because these stories, they're short, but they are really, really nice. So we're gonna start with that. And they are about what you see in the card. Sand hills stretch deep into the mist. There is no telling how far the tortoise has come, or how far he still must go. Guided by an ancient knowing and deep sense of inner direction, he moves with steady determination. He doesn't waste energy looking backwards, nor does he stretch his mind too far into the future. He is simply profoundly committed to each step before him as he forges a path forward. He knows he will arrive exactly where he needs to be at just the right time. Now, I like that a lot. Isn't that beautiful? And your message is to express and communicate your will, your truth. And so voicing your feelings, your opinions, and to do that with comfort, with ease. And for many of us, that's often difficult because we have been trained and drilled to not do that anymore, to be polite all the time, and all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about, I think. So to comfortably do that, express what you need, how you feel, who you are, what you stand for, and do so with pride. Right? And pride is not a wrong thing. Many people think that. And of course there is this lower pride, so to speak, the arrogant kind from the ego. But there's also pride that is different. That is truly, truly from the heart, from your heart and soul. Being proud of who you are. And if you are proud that way and express yourself from that, it's actually really gentle. Because you're not trying to express that you are superior or better or whatever, It's gentle. And so that's also a message of this card, that to speak up and express yourself, but without a need to control or dominate anyone. And also not to let anyone else dominate you and pull you off course or get out of whack, out of balance, right? Because you know who you are, stand in your power. And if someone does that, tries to do that to you, you will let them know then how you feel and how that makes you feel, what you want, what you don't want, whatever, right? You can say that. And that's basically what this is about. When our will is engaged, there is a quiet, humble strength in our words and actions. Our unique path unfolds before us as our true will and that of the universe align. So it's having boundaries, speaking up for yourself, maintaining your boundaries and maintaining your choices. But as you do that, it's not from the ego. It's not forceful. It's like I said, it's gentle. But gentle can be extremely strong and powerful. And some people don't get that so easily. I think many people think that having boundaries and being assertive and maintaining their boundaries means that they have to get upset and they have to get angry, and otherwise, it's not that way. You can do that in a gentle but strong way. And that's what your message is, to just stick to your path, what you need, what you want, and express that as well. Because it's the throat chakra, right? And then when you do that, well, it's logical that you then get into alignment with your inner being, with your higher self. And and then you will get on your path like that tortoise. So I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you can feel it. And and this is basically all I have for you. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't feel I can add anything more to it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Right, numbers 4, your card, and notice the master number 44 there, and you are number 4. Your card is a third eye card, and the aspect is presence. And then we have there awareness, attention, reality, connection. And just look at that girl, look at her face, the smile on her face, the energy she exudes. It's just wonderful. I'm going to read the card story, because the stories with these cards are really beautiful. They're short, but they're really worth reading. So I'm going to do that first. And it's about what you see on the card. In the morning light of a spring-filled forest, a young girl is drawn into the radiant presence of one of life's purest creative forces, a honeybee in motion. With the sun on her naked skin and the gentle breeze filling her lungs, there is nowhere else to be in this moment but right here, connected to the pulse of the natural world and her own true nature. In this space, she cannot help but smile from the very center of her being. This moment may last only seconds, but within that window, miracles abound. Now, I love that. Isn't that beautiful? And your message is well related to that, of course. It's about being in the here and in the now. Because we lead such hectic lives that we often are doing things without really paying attention to them. Like when you are driving the car, often you get home, you cannot even remember what happened on the way home, and you're not present. Your mind wanders off to other things, and usually it wanders to the past and to the future, and you have no power there. There's nothing there for you not in the past, because it's gone, and also not in the future because it hasn't arrived here, right? And so it's really important for you now, that's your message, to be in the now, in the present. And because it's also, if you aren't in the here and now, you haven't got your power, right? Because it's in the past or in the future, and you have no power there. But you also miss out on signs and things that might be really important to you, really helpful to you in your past. You're not going to notice them when you are still looking back and thinking back about at the past and what happened yesterday, or what happened 10 years ago, or a year ago, or whatever, and you're going to completely miss what's happening here and now. And that might be so important to you now for your future, to create the future that you actually want, right? And so that's basically the core message for you. Be fully present And be aware and notice the guidance that's available to you. And do that during the day, every time you think of it. Especially right now, because this came up for you now as being important, right? And for us, it is extremely tiring to be in the present for the whole day. I have tried that, it's exhausting. But you can take moments, more than one, preferably, during the day, where you just take the time, even if it's just a few minutes, to fully focus in the now, to look at what's around you, if there's people around you, to just really look at them and just really be here. And do that regularly, and you will actually begin to feel a lot better. It helps grounding as well, because if you can't be really grounded very well if your attention is not here. If your attention is in the past or the future, fear for the future and all that stuff, you're not grounded. So this is really important for you right now, and that's basically all I have to tell you. I can't really add anything to it. And it will, of course, I now just see the connection. It will, of course, also help your relationships and connections. And I'm not just talking about love relationships, right? All relationships and connections. Because how often, I think we all know that when you talk to someone, when you're in conversation and your mind drifts, and you just say, yeah, yeah, oh, no, and oh, okay, and all that stuff, but you're not even really listening to what's being said. And if you are really here, really in the now, you also become more aware of how people are towards you, how they are feeling, even strangers. And maybe you can just give them a smile, or maybe when you need it, you will receive a smile. But if you're still in the past, you're not going to see that, right? So I'm going to leave it at this. And this is your message. I hope it resonates with you. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.